do is talk to you about the proposal that will be on the November 6th ballot. You'll have the opportunity to all Saline County to vote for it. Our slogan you'll see is train Saline, stay Saline. Our effort is to train in Saline County, stay in Saline County through the process. Saline County Career Technical Education Center is what we're trying to build. I'm going to give you a little history of how we got to this point so you fully understand. I'm very passionate about what we're talking about. Sometimes my meetings run about an hour, but I've been asked to do it in 20 minutes, so I'll do that without questions at the end if you don't mind. Our Career Technical Education Center, a lot of you know it as the Overall Tech Center, that thing where you train drops, skills for high school students to go to the workforce. We began this process about 6 years ago. We focused mainly on economic development. How do we grow economic development in Saline County? We hired Dale Boyette, that is the past director of Arkansas Economic Development Corporation. He came in, he spent about a year talking with us about what Saline County would look like in 2020. We developed 6 different committees: signage, education, business development. And each one of those groups work out, and they developed 3 nice little free-range binders, and they look real pretty sitting on the shelf. And nothing really came out of them through that process. So when we started looking back at them, I asked the group if they would to go back with their 6 committees and find only one thing you thought you could do. So they went back, and they all came back saying, we think we can do this in education. We think we can do a career technical education center that will service all the high schools and service all the students in Saline County. Because it reaches over business community, it reaches over education, it reaches over students, it reaches over parents. Its tentacles are so far reaching. Next thing we talk about doing is how do we retain and grow our businesses? So we hired a group out of Stantec, Michigan, which is the #1 career technical education design, build, and recommend center in the United States. They build career technical education centers all over the United States. The reason I'm telling you this, I don't expect we got to this point live. We did. It was something we worked at very diligently over this period of time. They came down here and they spent about, 10, 12 months with us, almost a year, with 2 of their consultants, talking to over 180 businesses, meeting with 7 different high school groups. And we came about, this is the way we think we can ask our existing business to grow. All 180 businesses said, hey, if you train somebody, we'll hire them today if they're trying to go to work in my business. This is Mark Middleton. You recognize him. Mark Middleton is one of the owners of Middleton Heating and Air. This is what Mark has to say. In a minute, maybe.
You know, career technical education is vital to youth and students to want to understand the array of business opportunities that are available to young adults, and also show them that there is a career path once they exit high school that is different than college. And certainly getting a college education is a noble undertaking. College isn't for everyone. And there are students that can excel doing other things, and I think we need to show them what those opportunities are. The Bureau of Labor and Statistics says that our industry is going to grow 21% in the next 5 years. And that's a shocking statistic when you think that there are a dearth of people today to actually fill the vacancies that we have.
So the next thing we looked at was in industrial recruitment. How do we recruit industry to come to our community? To set up a business here, to work here, to create and give back to the community, to help us financially grow in our community. We looked at one particular thing. We looked at the Frisco store. Frisco, Texas had a CTE center, just like what we're talking about doing. Toyota came in and looked at at 3 different towns in Texas. They looked at San Antonio, Houston, and Frisco. They looked at what the state of Texas had to offer. They offered them all the same thing. The towns offered basically the same thing. But Frisco had a career technical education center, and they took the Toyota people out of Japan to the career technical education center, and they showed them how they could train students right out of high school to go to work in a plant. So Toyota chose Frisco, and it was the only differentiating factor between that and the other 2. It was direct pipeline into the workforce for them, once again recruiting the industry and the business, and it created 1,000 new jobs. If you go to Frisco, Texas, and look where that center is now, all up and down is a high row of employment, just business after business after business. The next thing we looked at is, okay, how do we get a return on our investment? We're going to ask you as citizens of Swain County to pay a 3/8 of 1 penny sales tax that sunsets in 12 years with 0 growth. What's the return on the investment you're going to be making? We knew of no better way to do that and asked Stantec to go back to the schools that they had built and worked with and give us those numbers. These are some that are located all over the United States, just to be a few. We picked out 4 different locations. In Tennessee, the CTE center that was built there, they got $2 for every dollar that was invested in the center. $2 for every dollar that was invested came back into the community. In Texas, $6.60 came back for every dollar invested in the Texas area. For Washington, D.C., it created $9 for every dollar invested in revenue back to that benefit in Washington, D.C., Washington State. Our current reality is we have high schools that serve our students here now who are all doing some form of economic opportunity and development, career and technical education training. Each of them do something, but none of them are able to do what is needed in their business place. The reason for that is we discovered that each school district, you'll see 6 of them up here, you have Sheridan, Bauxite, Bryant, Benton, Harmony Grove, and Glen Rose. Each one of those students, each one of those schools, 2 of them are located outside our county, Glen Rose and Sheridan, but they serve students inside the county. They take care of East End and then that part of the county for Glen Rose. They all come together and we all decided in our meeting with all those school districts in a room that all of them are doing something in career ed, but they aren't sharing it and they don't have the money to do enough to really meet the market. Also, we brought the business group in. And the business group also works in a silo. The business community said, hey, the schools aren't talking to me about what I need to train my students to do to go to work in the workplace. And the students, the education part, we didn't talk to the business isn't talking to education, schools aren't talking to each other. Everybody has a whole bunch of silos. That's our current reality. What we want to do and what we're proposing to do is to bring all the school districts together, all under one silo, business community here, and College of the Warshaws in Malvern is going to come in and teach Career and Technical Ed Center to our students. Now, in order to do that, we had to work with Arkansas Career Ed. It was about a year-long process to get them to say, okay, College of the Warshaws can set up a satellite campus in Swain County. For those of you that remember, we had a satellite campus here. It was Plastic Tech. Plastic Tech closed the center, moved it back up to the county line. No more Plastic Tech here, so we really don't have a center here in our area. COTO has really stepped up and been a good process. So we've done that. Economy of scale. We can do more together than we can all do separately. You're all business ladies, you understand that process. We moved duplication of services. You have one school teaching carpenter, another school teaching carpenter, another school teaching carpenter. You've got duplication of services. Teaching in one central location. Utilize business community partnerships. Partnerships is the key to this thing. After we interviewed over 180 businesses, we sat down with them separately from the educators. You know this. The business community used computers. Like we set up in computers, they all had computers about what they thought they needed to teach. They all did the fancy computer things. School teacher came in, they want to do sticky notes on the wall, they want to do paper everywhere, so we did both of those. And we said, okay, where does that overlap? Where does what you say, what we say we can teach, and what Arkansas Career Ed approves, what are those pathways that we can find to make that happen? This is Chad Hendricks with Everett.
The growth that we're having here in Swain County, it's so good, right? And these young adults coming out, they need other opportunities. So this gives them a pathway to a good career, and maybe a different pathway than if you went to higher education in college somewhere. And so it would really be helpful to us to be able to recruit out of a CTE center on specific jobs that we have here at the store. I think a partnership with the CTE center would be great because we can lay out specific guidelines of what we're looking for in advance. And so we know that right now in the automobile industry, there's a big shortage on the service side of the business. And so this will be a great opportunity for us to lay out a map, a plan, if you will, of how a student can get from point A to point B and come out of high school and immediately fall into a career path.
Great opportunity here at Everett. What do you think a transmission mechanic makes at Everett Chevrolet that can do everything needed to do to work on the transmission, all the electronics and all that? What would be your number, dollar a year you make? Give me some numbers. 60,000? That was higher than I guessed. You know that's not fair.
I know.
6 figures. What does a school teacher at 4 years of college degree make? 32, 35,000, 40? These are the 10 pathways currently that our business community and our educators agreed on that we would teach. Now, the pathway is a number. STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And they've added the A now. It's now STEAM. It's science, technology, engineering, art, and math. There's a lot of things. All your computer sciences and all are under that process. All of your coding, all the things you're talking about is there. Under automobile tech, all of the process there. Welding is deal. What we wanted to do was, if the business said you would hire them today, we could train them at high school. The educator said with Koto, they could teach these things in our center. Pulaski Tech now teaches 3 things to high school students, 3 pathways. Cosmetology is out. They do culinary arts, and they do an automobile area, but it's an automobile area for a higher level. So those are the things that Brian is sending to right now to Pulaski Tech to learn. We're going to offer our center located right here in Central Arkansas, right on the interstate. These 10 pathways. Now I say that, I don't want to get hung up on this because this is what they said we needed almost 18 months ago. When we get the center built, the 2021 class, those 10 may be different. The business community may be different things. Flexibility probably ought to be added as 11th deal there. Aviation is not approved by Arkansas Career Ed, but we have an airport here. We believe it's a way we can promote it. We're working with Henderson and Arkansas Career Ed to make that another approved pathway. We think we can make that happen in our area. It's also an area for economic development and economic growth with the 700 acres that surround the airport. This is Josh Lane. Josh Lane is the owner of ACDI, Access Control Devices Inc. is what that stands for. It's a high-tech firm. He has about 75 employees, a multi-million-dollar salary, and it is almost North America wide. He is from Canada and Mexico. He has 10 sales folks scattered throughout the United States, Canada, and Mexico. The product comes out of Argentina. He is the largest paper cut distributor in the United States. We have him now built where the old Harvest Food Safeway store was in there.
Well, it provides an opportunity for the youth of Saline County to go and get educated, provide them a way to target their trade that they're particularly inclined to want to study and want to work in going forward. For us as a local business, it would provide a feeder program, be able to come in and work with us, whether it's cybersecurity, whether it's print management software, whether it's the Internet of Things and working in our backend system to connect every part, every facet of our business. So that's the direction we're going. So I think it's going to keep us connected with our partners, with our customers, as well as the community.
I asked Josh what his average age of his group was, and he said he's 41. He said, I think I'm older than that. He said, I think my average age is like 26 or 27. So it is a high-tech, young marketplace, one we can train people to work right in his operation. Opportunities for success. This is what a parent benefited from CTE out of the Brown School District for her son. What we discovered before she talks, I'm going to tell you this. There was 2 things that surprised me when we toured CTE centers throughout this part of the United States, especially in Texas, because they've done it a lot. This is the only one in Arkansas. There is no other place in Arkansas to do it. There's a lot trying, but nobody's to this point. The dropout rate in high school goes down because if you drop out of school, you can't attend a career ed. And most dropouts don't see benefit in reading, writing, arithmetic, but they'll stay in high school and get a degree in high school to participate in this center. That's great. Also, some of those students that would have dropped out are now attending college. So the college rate per student goes up. So you win on both sides of this project for the kids.
I think that it's important to me because it helped my son finish school. We struggled year after year with my son not wanting to go to school. He's a hands-on child. He likes to do things with his hands, build, take apart. So when he got into high school, at Bryan High School, he went into the welding program, and he just flourished there. And he earned, I think, 2 or 3 certificates before he graduated high school. So in turn, when he graduated high school, he was not looking college bound at all because school was not his thing. So he went into the welding field immediately after graduation. In fact, he graduated early from Bryan High School with his certificates in welding, and so then he went on to a local company, pretty big company here in Sling County, to weld. And he made a very decent living doing that. So it gave him great opportunities after high school. Instead of going straight into college, he went in to be independent. So we were very grateful for that.
Our center is six different high schools in service Sling County. They've all got 540 slots. So when we begin our school in 2021, we'll have 540 slots already accounted for, that each school got based on their population. Bryan gets 41%, Benton gets 50 or 30%, the other schools get smaller amounts because of their student population. And then they can barter and sell. If you have somebody in your school who says, well, I have a slot I purchased, you and I can trade it. So it becomes a business model for the schools that they've never seen before. It gives them an opportunity to buy, barter, and trade. The school will accommodate roughly 1,200 students. Half a day in their school, half a day back as a bit of Army Corps. This little tricolor. This is the value of a student. This is Tom Kimball, High Superintendent of the Bryan School District. This is his daughter. And what she was able to accomplish in the engineering program at Bryan High School, Harmony Grove can't offer.
I'm Gracie Kimball. I'm a junior at Bryan High School, and I'm part of Cornwell engineering. I work on some prosthetic projects because I want to be a biomedical engineer. So Emma, who I created this hand for, is a kindergartner in our school district. Because our department has done prosthetic hands before, they contacted the engineering department head, Mr. Williams, and asked him if maybe we could work on something for her. He knew that that's what I wanted to do with my life, and then asked me if I would work on the project. Okay, so these are the parts that we're going to print for Emma. This part here is the gauntlet, which is a piece that will go around her wrist and her arm. This other larger part is the palm. Each of these with the little bumps on them are her fingers. So I'm about to 3D print it. It's going to take a day and 18 hours. So, yippee!
We need to offer this to all the other small schools.
Yeah, we went to present it on the bench. She was really happy. We're still in the process of perfecting it, but it's been good. It's been really fun. Just seeing the smile on Emma's face whenever we presented her with her robot hand, as she calls it, just really meant a lot to me, and knowing that I can make a difference in her life just using what I've learned in high school. So I'm really excited to see what the future holds, not only for me, but for others who are also interested in this, and for other little boys and girls like Emma. Well, now you have it.
Partnerships is the key to our program. You will be a partner in this program because you'll have business input into what we teach you. What I mean by partnerships, our Career and Technical Education Center is in the middle of career and technical education training for Saline County. It's served by each of the 6 different school districts, College of Washington, Maryland, your business community involved, your communities involved, and we have several universities that are looking at maybe coming down and doing some night schools in our center to allow that to happen. We want to open it up to adult ed at night. We want to open it up to adult training at night. We want to use 20 miles a day. So I think there's a lot of potential growth in this process. How's it going to look? The county will fund, build, and equip the center. You'll do that with the 3/8 of 1 cent sales tax on everything you purchase. If we have zero growth, that'll pay off in 12 years. Saline County is not going to have zero growth, so I wouldn't be a bit surprised if it doesn't pay off in 9 to 10 years. The county will own it free and clear. This won't cost the county anything to operate. COTO will facilitate, manage, operate, and staff the structure and teach the things that we say in Saline County needs to be taught, and ACE approves on a lot. The district will have program oversight, maintenance, utilities, and insurance. The reason we have that is because Arkansas Career Ed can pay for about everything else to flow through the students, but they ain't paying for maintenance, insurance, and some janitors to clean the floor. So the school districts have all agreed to pay $500 per student to cover those expenses. So there's no expense in the center for the county or any taxpayer other than just a bill, which I think, to get all in agree with that, is quite a violation of science. All right, what does the 3/8 of 1 cent help you pay for? It'll purchase the building and the location. It'll construct and maintain the CTE center, the classroom furnitures and fixtures, equipment, technology needed to prepare training for our students. How many of us in this room, raise their hand now, will pay 3/8 of 1 cent to provide this training for our kids? I mean, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. We don't pass this in November, we'll never have this opportunity again. And Northwest Arkansas will do it within the next 5 years because they're on the same track we were on 5 years ago. And this is Mark Beach. He is the CEO of CDI Construction, who built Runway Stadium expansion, built event center, and so on. And Mark really sums it up really well. This will be for 11th and 12th grade students right now. Hopefully we'll shrink it down to maybe 10th grade and start training in the 8th grade, tell them what to expect so they're ready for that.
Things essential threat to our business in the construction industry is the lack of skilled labor. Year over year, we see our workforce aging, and there's been a gap in the generational handoff in our part of the world in the trades. And it's true in manufacturing, it's true in construction as well. We need a community that understands the needs to teach people to use tools, to visualize work from a design perspective, and to be able to think and make decisions on their feet. And we think the Career Training and Education Center would be a real benefit to the community, help me and the folks in manufacturing and nursing and food services and any number of businesses find qualified people to work in their industries. We build buildings, and we need people who got skills to do that. And we think the high schools is the right place to start.
Train Saline, stay Saline. Train here, stay here, create a business environment here for our students to stay. It'll be issue 6 on the ballot. I hope each of you will decide it's worth it to spend 3/8 of less than a half a cent on your purchases until it's paid for, and you receive all these benefits for our kids and our business community. This is a win-win deal for you. A chance to do something not different. This is being done in Texas, being done all over the United States. It's just not being done in Arkansas. All of our senators and representatives are behind it 100%. Even Alan Clark and Bill Samples, 2 senators from our area, said they're willing to make a video, do whatever they need to do to their people. They're excited about the process because they understand the value of education. Lanny Fike, Kim Hammer's been with us since day one through this process. 6 years to getting to this point. We had to get legislation passed about the county to own the building for job training purposes. There were 12 things that the county could own the building for. It didn't say job training. Jim Russell, Friday, the Park recommended our legislators pass an act about the county owned building for job training purposes. That got passed 2 sessions ago. We went through Arkansas Career Ed and met with them. We met with the governor. And the chairman of our committee is Judge Eric. He's the chairman of our committee to move this thing forward. We went and talked with the governor, met in his conference room, a little small group of us. He used words like different, innovative. It's time the community stepped up and offered to do something for the educational job training and purposes. This will be a template for the rest of the state if we're successful here. Saline County is one of only 2 counties in Arkansas that does not have a sales tax. Saline County and Monroe County are the only 2 counties that doesn't have a county-wide sales tax. We're asking for 3/8 of 1 cent, less than half a penny. Sunset in 10 to 12 years, maybe sooner, to build a 112,000 square foot building that will service up to 1,200 students at the Haskell exit on the north side of the interstate, visible from the interstate. An opportunity for Saline County to impact jobs, education, economic development, and most of all kids for generations to come. Questions? Anybody? I've thrown a lot at you. Yes, ma'am?
Where can I volunteer to help with this campaign?
All right, a good thing. All 3 of the chambers, you asked about volunteers. We approached all 3 of our chambers, Benton, Bryan, and Harmony, and Hot Springs Village. And Hot Springs Village and Benton and Bryan have all agreed to handle and manage the volunteer services, the phone calling, the mail outs, the knocking door to door. I don't know of anything we've ever done that got 6 different school districts together to agree on anything. Got all our legislative bodies together to agree on anything. And then got our community group, our 3 chambers, the 3 large chambers here, to agree to take over all the volunteer services through the project. We have to raise about $250,000 to run this campaign, and we're in the process of doing that now. So I'll take a check from anybody who wants to donate. I'm here today. I chair the finance committee. What we're doing is a game changer. And you're business people and you understand. So I'm singing to the choir, but I'd appreciate your vote. Yes, ma'am?
I heard the year 2021 mentioned. Is
Yes, ma'am.
that your goal to get something built by then?
Yes, ma'am.
For a class?
When it passes in November.
Right.
When it passes in November, we can then begin to take care of getting a full-blown engineering drawing by the architect. We can get the contractors licked up. We're looking at 18 to 24 months to build. So my hope would be that we can get it up and running by the spring or the fall of 2021 school system, if all works well. There's a lot of things we can do with this thing. We opted to do it for a lot of obvious reasons. You know all those reasons. I think we have an opportunity to do great things here. It's going to require all of our help. You're going to have to go vote. You're going to have to vote yes on issue 6. We'd like for it to be 1, 2, or 3, but the state gets precedence over all the state issues. We're going to have all the ballot issues, issues for gambling and marijuana and all that stuff. I don't know if marijuana made it or not, but anyway, as long as I'm not opposed to marijuana, I'm okay. But as far as the ballot, so issue 6 is where we'll be, and it's going to be quite a deal. Yes, ma'am.
Is there notification, I don't like to use the word advertising, but notification through the district? Because this is the first I've heard of
I know.
this. And that's why it was like mandatory that I had to schedule my date planner today, because, I had my second wave coming through the Wright School District when I was a junior. And it is imperative that we get the word out.
I agree.
And so forth on this, and are they doing it through the school districts so all the parents can know? Because if they don't know that, they're not going to vote on it.
We're very sensitive about getting the schools into the campaign, but we will do that. And matter of fact, there's 3 people giving this speech. Karen is one of them. Superintendent of Schools at Bryan is one of them giving this presentation. County judge is another one, and myself. There's 3 of us who give this presentation. All of our chambers will get the word out. We're trying to understand that Bryan to have a big student Republican Democratic Party thing. And that's something we're trying to get set up to do that. But they're pretty sensitive about that process. Facebook, you're going to see a lot of it lately. We had to go through 3 readings at the county court to allow it to go onto the ballot. So we didn't get the approval from the county court to put it on the ballot. until the end of July. So then we're in the process of hiring consultants, getting it all done. Yes,
Is there room for private, like Christian schools to come into this process as well?
glad you asked. Every student in Saline County that lives in Saline County, regardless of where they go to school, will be able to participate in this center if space is available. The 6 school districts will have the first option, and then private school, home schools, anybody that lives in Saline County, a good example is Fountain Lake, because their tie with the center in Hot Springs agreed to not enter, and they have 200 students in Hot Springs Village that didn't even participate. So those 200 students that live in Saline County, because it's Saline County vote, will have the opportunity to attend. Homeschool is a big deal in this county, and also those folks who go to Pulaski Academy or someplace like that, Christian schools in Little Rock will be able to attend those. Good question, and thank you for asking. I forgot that.
Lamont, will they be bused there back and forth?
They bus now.
Yeah.
They're on the bus to Pulaski Tech, Codo now. None of the school assistants see that as an issue.
Okay.
And what we've discovered is the high school students will drive their own car anyway. But all the superintendents see no issue with transportation. That's one thing we ask on the front end. They see no issue with that. As a matter of fact, the center is closer to every school has right now to any center except for Bryan, and it's 1 2/10 further to this center than it will be to go to Pulaski Tech. And Pulaski Tech's offering 3 programs, and we're offering 10. You have another question?
I do.
Please do.
Are all of the curriculum and the classes and everything, are they set in stone? Are they looking to expand, such as military? Because
If there's a job
my son's
opportunity here.
going to the military.
I know a lot of schools have ROTC, high school
Right,
do.
he's an ROTC and all of that.
I'm an ROTC guy, so I understand that process, but yes, I mean, I don't see that being a preliminary program of that, because we're training for job training, even though the military is a job.
So would they be certified so they can, just like if they went to college, they go in as a higher ranking when they go in when they're in the deferred program and so forth?
You talking about jobs?
Yes.
Okay, 7 of those 10 I showed you in the program, 7 of them will be allowed to have a certificate on the job or use a qualification certificate. Thanks for asking that too. Shit.
And that was late, so
Shame
I
on you.
apologize, I know.
You just stay after
I
I
know. So you might have answered this, but I'm Holly Fish. I'm the founder of Women Networking, so I apologize for being late, and she can get on to me later. But my firm, EGP, is behind this, so accounting firm. So I've been doing construction accounting for a long time, and I was back around the day when Bob East was even pulling people in to teach minority business owners how to do construction. So I know that the state chamber had a buzz where they were going around for a while that was rap, trying to get kids to, is the state behind you? Because this is such an issue all across, not only the state of Arkansas, but the U.S. So I would hope that they're behind you.
They are.
Okay, good.
All the chambers are behind us. I mean, it's business driven. I mean, when you have 180 businesses, and it wasn't just Saline County, it was CalArc, it was Caterpillar, it was J. Riggs, it was Crane dealership, are all in that one of those over 180 businesses gave us input into this. So they're all buying in. So, I mean, the business community is behind it, and thus the chambers are.
Because I would think they would want to copy the model.
Yeah. The mayor, the judge, the governor said it's a model that we can copy throughout the state of Arkansas. We have a little advantage here that maybe they don't have in some of the other areas, because our schools are closer together. Transportation's not so much of an issue. 35 minutes is about as far as any school has to travel. So we have an advantage there that you might not have in southwest Arkansas or southeast Arkansas. But certainly it's an area, if you do smaller districts, you would have to have 6 different school districts. You could have 2 or 3. Economy of scale. Any other questions? Great, ask me questions. Yeah, ma'am.
Well, good deal. Well, I have one. It's, my kiddos have graduated, but still as a parent and mom, from the Bryant School District, just thinking what a hard time we had to get that village passed. I mean, we did it multiple times, and it sounded like you said this would be it. We did to do it multiple times, so I'm just like, what all is your plan, to get the word out? Because I think that third time that finally pushing it in like neighborhood POAs, you know, people came to the band parent meeting, you know, and spoke to us, and I mean, so do y'all have like plans to do all of that?
Part of that plan, and what you see today is happening all over this county.
Okay.
We've been to East End, we've been everywhere. Our chambers are gonna do all those things, all those outreaches, and all our business communities. We have leaders in each community, and we go through that process. It's just like anything.
Because like previously, you know, we lived here for 10 years, and well, otherwise, like, there was nothing really mentioned in like our neighborhood, you know, stuff. We got lights on, I mean, it was on our, you know, neighborhood Facebook page and everything.
Facebook and POA,
I think it made a huge difference, you know,
got that, yes, ma'am?
When we did the village, you know, we had different strategies every time we tried to pass it. And one strategy was, let's not talk about it, let's just talk about it. You know what I mean? And so this strategy is basically comparable to what we did the third time we passed the village. Remember, we got out there, we communicated, we talked to every civic group, and we learned that knowledge was power. And I believe this is what we're doing this time with the CTE Center and with Lamont and the judge and Dr. Ball. So I believe we learned from some of those mistakes, and that's what we're doing now.
When our school superintendents all stepped up, made a big deal. When the county judge took a step forward, said, I'll support this thing, I'll spearhead the project. Made a big deal. When the chambers came forward to do the volunteer services, what a big deal. All our legislators lined up, no opposition there, willing to even do videos, and some of them had campaigns. So they all understand the value of what we're trying to do. My pleasure to be here today. They can find me anytime they need me. Diane Jester asked me to be here today. She's not here. So y'all will remind her that I came and she wasn't. And I will get her for that process. So anyway, it's a privilege to be here. My office is at the chamber. My cell phone is 860-4007. 007, I can't get away from it. So if you have any questions or you have a group you want us to come find, please give us that opportunity. We'll be happy to come visit one of your groups because I have grandkids, nine of them, about half of them are still in school here. So, and all go to school here in this area of Shelby County. So I want to see them have this opportunity. So I hope everybody else does too. 3/8 of 1 cent ain't anything. It keeps everything under 10. It just makes it all work. Thanks. Appreciate you.